If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show and ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda. Today's show is about a video game called Goat Simulator. A subscriber to the channel brought this game to my attention. I want to thank that subscriber. I actually don't have his name written down, but he knows who he is. I appreciate it. We've been talking a lot on this channel about how they are conditioning children now with all this occult symbolism, with the satanic worship. We talked about how they're starting to get satanic doctrine into schools. We talked about the false idols and the children that are being allowed to listen to this music and follow these false idols who worship the beast. And now, of course, video games is probably the number one thing that these children are influenced by or spend most of their spare time doing is playing these video games. So this game's called Goat Simulator, right? We already know about the goat and the worship of the goat that these Satanists are all about, the Baphomet. You won't even believe what is inside of this video game. I'm still in shock after I saw it. But let's get into it. For starters, you play as a goat, and much of the goal of the actual game is just really irrelevant at this point. But you see the goat inside of a satanic temple here, which isn't surprising. But what really this game is all about here, as you'll notice, is look, it's a satanic pentagram. It's a giant satanic pentagram in this children's video game that parents are allowing their kids to play because the cover of the game has a goat with some clouds behind it, and it seems pretty innocent, right? Well, look at this. It's a giant pentagram with the Baphomet inside of it, the satanic pentagram. And the goal of the goat, there's two goals apparently, one of which is the goat is supposed to sacrifice 5 animals, bring it inside of the circle, the pentagram, kill them. So kill the goats, bring other goats, put them inside. And then it says you're getting more demonic power after you do the 5 killings. But what's even more interesting is that after you do that, the goal in the game is for the goat to go murder 5 human beings, bring them, drag their corpse inside of this pentagram. So drag 5 dead humans inside of this pentagram. This is great for kids, by the way, to be learning this, to actually be involved in witchcraft, because this is what they do. They do these human sacrifices inside of the pentagram. Right? We've seen all the images with the circle, with the pentagram, with the candles around it. I showed you the Black Mass in Mexico. They sacrifice animals inside of it. So here they do it, and they bring 5 human beings dead inside of the pentagram, and it says ritual, sacrifice for a greater purpose. You can't make this stuff up. And kids are getting indoctrinated with this. They're playing this game. Parents are like, oh, it's no big deal. This is exactly what the occult does. This is exactly what Satanists do. They commit animal sacrifice and human sacrifice inside of the pentagram, which is all in the game. The goat even goes into a demonic temple at one point as it runs around town causing havoc. It gets demonically possessed as it does this stuff, right? And everybody thinks it's a big laugh. It's a joke. I'm sure parents who have seen it get a laugh out of it. They're like, oh, that's no big deal. What is that? I don't know what that is, right? Because they don't have any awareness of this stuff. They haven't studied Satanism. They haven't studied the occult. They don't think it's real. They don't think it's going on. So their children are getting indoctrinated with this. They're actually performing a ritual inside of the video game. Sure, it might be a mock ritual because it's a simulation and it's a video game, but this is part of conditioning, right? We talked about on this channel over and over that these things are gateways into the occult. Harry Potter is a gateway. all of these young shows for kids about magic, the Magic Kingdom, Cinderella, they're all gateways into the occult because they all are practicing magic. This one specifically is practicing black magic and human sacrifice. So while parents are saying, oh, it's just a video game like Grand Theft Auto where kids are running around shooting each other, this one goes as far as to actually have the goat, the Baphomet, representing the Baphomet inside of the pentagram, where you're killing human beings and bringing them there, sacrificing them to the devil, and in return, you get demonic powers and you're sacrificing for a greater purpose, which is exactly what the occult teaches. It's exactly what Satanists do. They sacrifice for what they believe is a greater purpose, to obtain power, to obtain money, to obtain all the things that they seek from this earth. That's what they do it for. They do it to Satan. They sacrifice humans to Satan in return for riches of the earth. They sell their soul and give it up. And this is another gateway for children to get their minds poisoned by Satanism and occultism. And they make it look cool and fun, right? Like it's a big joke. These are the gateways that they use to get children to look further. Dungeons and Dragons, when we talk with Zachary King, he was playing Dungeons and Dragons. A few years later, he was committing abortion sacrifices inside the occult because he thought magic was cool and it was fun and he wanted to see how much magic he could do. What could magic really bring to him? Because Dungeons and Dragons was teaching him that when you do these spells, things happen. Right? So they're learning in this video game, you commit these human sacrifices or these animal sacrifices and you get power, right? You get demonically possessed powers. You're sacrificing to the greater good or for the greater good. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But parents don't even know this is going on because if you look at the cover of the game, it looks like a good, clean, simulator. It's like, what is this about? It almost looks like, one of those games where you like build a city or something like, oh, I'm going to build a farm. It's a goat simulator. Maybe I'm building a goat farm because parents aren't going to dig deep into that. And in some sense, it's not really fair because it's false advertising. The parent's not really going to sit there and watch the kid play the video game for 10 hours because they're going to send him off and say, yes, go play the video game. I'm tired from work. And then the kid is up in his room being indoctrinated with this stuff. He's seeing it. Oh, let me go commit human sacrifice over and over as he plays the video game. Oh, cool. Now I can like fly because I have demonic powers, right? The Prince of the Air is now giving me power to fly. They even show the goat flying in the air, right? We know who the Prince of the Air is. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how it is everywhere. It is everywhere. They're advertising for it. They're recruiting children and preparing them and conditioning them to be indoctrinated into the occult. And like I've been saying, it's not going to be forced. Everybody thinks it's going to be this forced thing, like take the mark of the beast or we'll blow your head off. People are going to want to take it. People are going to want to worship the Antichrist. They're going to want to worship Satan because they're being conditioned to perform these rituals at a young age. They're getting conditioned to perform these rituals, watching Harry Potter, playing games like this where they're committing the actual sacrifices in the games and seeing all the good things that the game shows you comes of it. People are going to willingly be doing this and willingly accept the mark of the beast and willingly be worshiping the devil because parents and people out there aren't exposing this stuff and pointing it out. This is complete garbage. This is more conditioning for the youth of this world to be indoctrinated into the occult, into Satanism. And it's right in plain sight. They sell this in stores. You can download it. It's more obvious satanic worship in plain sight. We talk about it getting into the school system with the coloring books and how they have to have equal rights. Satanists deserve equal rights. I mean, it sounds retarded even saying it, that they deserve equal religious rights. They're Satanists. They perform human sacrifice. But like I said, they've watered Satanism down with Antoine LaVey's version of Satanism, where it's more of a knowledgeable, respectful religion where they respect other people's religion and they act on human instinct and blah, blah, blah. And all of the masses has fallen for it because they don't dig deeper. They don't look into all of this stuff like Aleister Crowley's Satanism, right? His books on black magic and having sex with children to enhance the magic. All this sick, perverse stuff. So these children just get indoctrinated with this, and then they say, well, this is real? Wow, like, I want to try it. Like, what do I get out of it? Oh, you can get money and power? Really? Okay, let me try it. Next thing you know, they kill a squirrel or a cat or a poor defenseless animal, and they perform these rituals. That's how they get into it. And they see results from the magic, because we know magic is real. The Bible talks about magic and sorcery being real. Jesus performs exorcisms. We know that people can be demonically possessed. All of this stuff is going on around us, and the rest of the world has their blinders on. So again, this is just another blatantly obvious indoctrination into Satanism that they are brainwashing children with, this time using video games, and this isn't the only game they do this stuff in. There's so many games that are filled with satanic symbolism, Zelda, all of these games that are out there, most of them have an agenda behind them. So we have to expose these things. So this game's called Goat Simulator. If your child has it, I would recommend you get rid of it and get it off of his device or whatever he has it on. And I would just, personally, I would light the thing on fire if you found your child had it. I would just burn the thing. But again, I want to thank the person who pointed it out to me. I appreciate it. I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. It was so blatantly obvious and sick. We have to just keep being vocal about it, keep exposing these things. Keep strong in our faith and our prayer, and start fighting back for Jesus Christ. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you. May peace be with you.